The video is broadcasting live from the highest point in Japan. The camera shakes as a man breathes heavily into the microphone. Standing on a steep, frozen ridge, he points his phone down a terrifying drop. Strangers type casual questions in the live chat. He takes one step forward on the packed snow. A sharp gasp fills the audio. His boots lose their grip. The horizon violently tilts upward. Thousands of people sit in their living rooms, watching a man drop into the abyss in real time. During the summer, Mount Fuji feels like a safe, manageable challenge. Thousands of tourists walk up its gentle, well-marked trails every single day. There are medical stations, rest stops, and heavy safety rails. It operates more like a crowded amusement park than a dangerous alpine peak. But in late October, the mountain undergoes a brutal transformation. The tourist season officially ends. Authorities erect heavy steel barricades across the lower trailhead. The summer paths disappear under feet of packed, hardened snow. The wind accelerates to hurricane speeds, polishing the surface into smooth blue ice. Winter on Fuji is a lethal environment, requiring heavy crampons, ice axes, and years of climbing experience. But modern technology often creates a dangerous illusion of safety. It is easy to feel protected when a crowd is watching you. That false sense of security led a man straight into a trap. Tetsu Shiohara was 47 years old. Online, he went by the username Tetsu. He lived a quiet, deeply solitary life in Tokyo. He spent most of his time indoors studying for the demanding national bar exam. To break the heavy isolation of his apartment, he started broadcasting his daily life on the internet. He streamed his study sessions and his walks through the city. He sought human connection through a digital lens. And on October 28, 2019, he decided to give his audience something incredible. He bought a bus ticket to the 5th station of Mount Fuji. He did not bring ropes, harnesses, or heavy winter survival gear. He wore casual street clothes and carried a simple wooden walking stick. In his other hand, he held his smartphone on a selfie stick. He stepped off the bus, walked directly past the closed warning signs, and pointed his camera at his own face. The live broadcast began. For the first few hours, the stream felt like a casual, everyday vlog. He chatted with his viewers, reading their typed messages aloud as he hiked. The sun was shining, and the terrain was mostly dirt and loose volcanic rock. But as he pushed higher, the environment rapidly shifted. The elevation climbed past 10,000 feet. Tetsu's breathing grew ragged and forced. The dirt path vanished, replaced by a steep incline of hardened snow. The wind began howling into the microphone, drowning out his voice. He pointed the camera down at his feet. He was wearing light, casual hiking. The rubber soles had no metal spikes to grip the frozen surface. He was walking on a steep ice rink angled into the sky. The viewers watching from home began to notice the undeniable danger. The chat filled with urgent warnings. People typed that he needed to turn back immediately. They warned him that a severe winter storm was moving in, but Tetsu kept pushing upward. He was driven by the live audience watching him. The viewer count was steadily ticking up. People were paying attention to him, and he was nearing the summit. The internet has always been a hub for dangerous stunts, but nobody expected to witness a real death unfold live. And if uncovering the dark reality of human survival is why you watch, subscribe to Evidence Zero, because the aftermath of this broadcast paralyzed everyone watching. He reached the final approach. The incline near the crater is incredibly steep. There are no trees to break a fall. There are no safety. A single mistake means a continuous drop with nothing to stop your momentum. His bare hands were exposed to the biting wind. He complained to the chat that his fingers were going completely numb. He admitted he couldn't even feel the smartphone he was holding. He stood near the crumbling edge of the crater. The path was barely a few feet wide, flanked by a sheer drop into the clouds. He was exhausted, freezing, and operating on dangerously low oxygen. Hypoxia actively clouds human judgment, making it impossible to recognize immediate threats. Tetsu looked down at the steep slope. He spoke into the microphone, his voice shaking from the cold. "Oh, this place is slippery, getting dangerous." He tried to step around a patch of slick ice. He didn't have an ice axe to anchor his body to the mountain. He didn't have a free hand to grab the rocks. His boot touched the frozen crust. The traction instantly failed. He slipped. The camera dropped. The viewers watched the horizon flip upside down. The bright blue sky was replaced by rushing white snow. Tetsu fell hard onto his back. The mountain offered no second chance. In winter alpine climbing, a fall on a 35-degree ice slope is catastrophic. You reach terminal velocity in a matter of seconds. Gravity pulled him down the face of the mountain. He accelerated past 40 miles per hour. The camera recorded the chaotic tumbling. The lens smashed against jagged volcanic rocks sticking through the snow. The viewers heard the heavy thud of physical impact. They heard the rushing wind and the crunching of ice. The camera tumbled head over heels, broadcasting every single rotation. The sky and the snow blurred together into a dizzying nightmare. Tetsu made no sound. There were no screams. The sheer force of the fall knocked the breath out of him instantly. The camera spun for several seconds, and then the screen froze. The digital feed cut out. The connection was lost. Thousands of miles away, viewers stared at black screens. The casual, joking atmosphere of the chat room vanished. A deep, sinking dread settled over the audience. They had just witnessed a man slip into the abyss. They didn't know if he had just dropped the phone and was standing safely above, but the audio of the impact felt far too real. The heavy sound of flesh hitting stone echoed in their ears. Viewers frantically dialed Japanese emergency numbers. They flooded local police stations with calls, reporting a man falling off the summit of Mount Fuji. They provided his username and the exact timestamp of the video, but the police faced a daunting logistical reality. It was late afternoon, the sun was dropping fast, and the mountain was freezing over for the night. Rescue helicopters cannot fly near the summit in high wind. Ground teams cannot scale the ice in the dark without severe risk to their own lives. Tetsu was alone. If he survived the initial fall, he was lying broken in the freezing snow. He was waiting for a rescue that would not come until morning. The internet sat in silence. The recording of the fall was clipped and shared across social media. Millions of people watched the final seconds of his stream. It became a viral spectacle of human error. The digital footprint of his death spread faster than any rescue team could mobilize. At first light the next morning, a 10-person alpine rescue team deployed to the summit. They tracked his presumed path down the Yoshida Trail. They looked for any sign of life in the deep ravines. They followed a long, brutal gouge mark left in the snow. At an altitude of nearly 10,000 feet, they found the end of the slide. Tetsu had fallen almost 2,300 feet from the point where he slipped. The human body is not built to withstand that kind of trauma. He had struck multiple jagged rocks on the way down. He did not survive the fall to freeze in the night. The extreme impact killed him long before he stopped sliding. Nearby, searchers found the shattered remains of his smartphone. The device that connected him to thousands of people was broken in the dirt. The screen was cracked, the battery dead. The Japanese authorities formally identified his body and closed the investigation. It was a tragic, preventable accident. The barricades at the bottom of the mountain were heavily reinforced. Warnings were broadcast across national television, but the footage remains on the internet. It is a permanent digital ghost. In the past, when an explorer made a fatal mistake in the wild, they died in profound isolation. Their final moments belonged only to the silence of the mountain. Nobody heard their last breath. Nobody saw the sky rush past them. Modern technology has erased that boundary. Tetsu Shiohara did not die alone in the snow. He died in front of an audience. He climbed the mountain to escape his loneliness. He wanted the world to watch him, and they did. Thousands watched him disappear into the ice, but nobody could reach through the screen and pull him back.